Alright, let's just jump right into this. We're going to talk about where we're at in the big picture. What time is it in the galactic clock? And we've got a lot of sources that we can go to find out. And let's start with the Bible. One of my subs has opened up their channel. I encourage all of you to do this. You have no idea how much you'll learn just making videos for your own channel. You'll learn from yourself. It's quite incredible. But, you know, I've read the Bible more than any other book, over and over and over. I can't count how many times I've read it from cover to cover. And throughout my life, every time I've read it, I've grown in knowledge from the time before, and it has a completely new meaning to me. And even now, even with all the alchemical and symbolic knowledge and how to translate metaphors into language we understand, I still am learning more than I ever did before. Just in the first chapter of Genesis, it's incredible. So, like in the God made, and the evening and the morning were the first day. Well, evening is the start of nightfall, and morning is the end of nightfall. So night is the first day. That kind of don't make sense. Well, let's talk about the celestial clock and what actually occurred. We know that in the beginning, God, which is represented by Capricorn, created the heavens, Aquarius, and the earth, Capricorn. And the first thing he said was, let there be light, or voila, and that is Sagittarius, that we designate as fire. So from the age of Capricorn, it was also, on the second spin of the wheel, it is the fall, to fall from grace, to fall down into materialism. But we were under solar astrology, from Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, into Leo. In the age of Cancer, we have the flood. We come out of Cancer into Gemini with lunar astrology, because we can no longer see the stars during the day. And now we are in the dark night. It's the long night. It's the winter of our discontent. And we've been under lunar astrology through Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. We move back into solar astrology in Aquarius. But we're actually told we won't need the sun or the moon, Cancer and Leo, in that day. For I am with you, which is Saturn, or your higher self. So we're right at the end of this dark night, this long night. And Peter's being crucified upside down. You know, there are tales from India. I want to say the Mahabharata. I'm pretty sure that's where I've read that. But I've read so many of the Rig Vedas and the Mahabharata. So anyway, there's a story there about, I want to say it's a king or a very prominent person had gone to his guru and told him he wanted to go to heaven. And so he sent him on his journey. And he gets to heaven and they tell him he can't come in till he dies. And they go back and forth over this till eventually he went upon his death. He's cast into heaven, but he is upside down. Another reference to this age of Pisces. And so you can go in the other sources and find out a lot about this age as well. The life of Peter in the New Testament is referencing the age of Pisces. This is the seat of Peter. The Vatican is the seat of Peter. Peter the Jew, or Jew Peter, rules Pisces. So I want to talk about Jupiter real quick before we move forward on this. Let's do the three pillars. This is going to be the sun pillar, and the moon pillar. This can be our ladder. in Sagittarius, and this is severity and mercy. So, in the age of Sagittarius, we know Jupiter as Zeus. From the age of Gemini, they looked up and Zeus ruled the world. Zeus ruled the world. He is the preeminent god of the 10 ages, or the 10 tribes, if you will. The 10 patriarchs, minus Judah, and part of Judah, Benjamin, part of Levi. So anyway, Jupiter in Sagittarius was on the severity pillar. But Jupiter in this age is on the mercy pillar. He's water. He's under lunar astrology and under water. So it is Jupiter that is most merciful, most gracious. And who do we know as that? They have many names. You have to look at the symbology, tells you who is who. You follow the symbols. You follow the metaphors. Because none of this is literal. None of it. You know, our Bibles, our books, they're translated. But they're not transliterated. Big difference between translations and transliterations. We've talked about this before. If I tell you I'm going to paint the town red tonight, you know that I'm just going to go out and get wild ass, crazy, drunk, and act stupid, right? Well, if I was to translate that, say, into Arabic, and I translated it, paint the town red, they're not going to understand that. They're going to think I got a bucket of red paint and went and painted the town red. Literally. That's translation. So we need a transliteration to explain what the slang term of paint the town red means. And that's how you have to look at not just the Bible, but all script. The Quran, any of these alchemical texts, any of these encoded Necronomicons, magic books, whatever, even the Picatrix. So, and pretty much the Picatrix is the handbook from the age of Cancer all the way through Pisces, through this dark night. And this is one section. So we have the section that goes from the day that goes from Sagittarius to Leo. And then we have from Cancer to Pisces. Sun astrology and lunar astrology. But we're moving to the middle pillar. Everybody, all who live and breathe, will be under the rule of the middle pillar. And here, rule is different. Under here, you have the law and severity. Under fire. Under water, you have mercy. But under Aquarius and Capricorn, there's only one law, and that's the law of equivalent exchange. It's an alchemical law. To get something, you must give something. There'll be no mercy and grace. There'll be no more law as given through the age of Aries or fire. The law is going to come from the middle pillar. You will reap what you sow. It's called karma, the law of equivalent exchange. And you need to be able to separate these. When the Christ told the lady at the well, you know not who you worship. He told the Pharisees and the Sadducees the same thing. You don't know what you worship in this mountain. And indeed, the Pharisees knew exactly who they were worshiping, but the Samaritan woman at the well did not. And all of these characters have representations here. All of them. The colors, the symbols, the femininity or masculinity tell you the who, what, when, where, why, and how. They tell you this circle with the right symbols and colors tell you everything you need to know. You just need to do your homework and learn the symbols. This is part of the oral tradition. There is no book I can reference you to. I reference you to all books. Pick up one. Doesn't matter. Start reading it. I've told you, even Moby Dick is somehow encoded with this alchemical symbology. They call me Ishmael. Opening statement of Moby Dick. King Ahab is out to kill the beast, out to kill the whale. That's the Leviathan. Let's pull up our other zodiac. Hold on, let me get Stellarium in here. See if I can get this going. But this is Leviathan. This is Ishmael. Ishmael, man of God, right? The king here. They call me Ishmael. And he's after the big fish. And so Moby Dick is an encoded story for the age of Aquarius. All stories, I don't care what they are or where they come from. I don't care if you think they come out of your imagination. There is no new thing under the sun or the moon. But we have a new thing coming, that a mystery that's been hidden since the foundation of the world. Here's the foundation. And it's been hidden since the beginning. And we've been told the beginning from the end. So the end is the beginning. We start the circle over. But this time around, we're going to get a new zodiac. A new one. A great one. Not this amalgamation Frankenstein that we have. So we're in this dark night. We're at the end of lunar astrology. Peter is being crucified upside down. The king that requested to go to heaven is finally in the heavens, crucified upside down. You know, we've all been crucified on one of those crosses. And we think of crucifixion as death. To me, I've told you, when you come into the body, you died. You're in death. The body is dirt. You are entrapped in dirt and water, which is so this age. Water, earth, dirt and water. We're at the beach because Virgo is the shifting sands. Don't build your house on the sand. This is the shifting sand. Mutable earth. Quicksand, I call it. Especially when you add the water of Pisces. This shit will suck you under so fast. So, we need to be on solid ground. Solid ground is Taurus, fixed, Capricorn. So you need to be, and where is this? We've talked about this. Africa, North America. These two. That's solid ground. Virgo, in this age, is represented by what I call the United Kingdom or the British Empire. So this also includes Britain. This is Britain, the money, the crown, but it's also Australia, being as its hub. They honor their queen, along with Canada, by the way. Canada has to fall away from Britain. That will happen. No choice. It must. It's one of those things that must happen. It will. I don't care what anybody says, thinks, or whatever. For this age to end, Canada has to first fall away from Britain. Come out of her. Come out of her. This is the her right now, is Virgo. Remember, we're being crucified upside down. So, we've got mutable earth is now in rule, which is quicksand. So we're at the beach. We're right where the water meets the sand. And that's paradise, to where the water meets the sand. You tell somebody to go to a happy place, 9 times out of 10, they picture themselves walking along the shoreline. Partly in the sand, partly in the water. Why do you think we do that? Because that is paradise for this age. That's the best you're going to get. It's not going to get any better than walking on that shoreline between those two worlds. It is paradise, but only for this age. In the next age, it will not be paradise. For woe to those who live on the seashore. Because that's the first thing that's going to go. When earthquakes start ripping and tsunamis start going, all of those cities will be destroyed. It's happened before, it'll happen again. The cities on the shore are going to sink down below the water. We've seen this happen before. All the divers around the world, especially through India and Japan, all along the Asian and Indian coast, divers, even through the Bahamas and Cuba, all these great cities and temples that are under the water. Same thing's going to happen again. And all of these cities are going down. And new ones, new land, new earth will rise up. Now, the powers that be are trying to control this circle. Good luck with that. It controls us. We don't control it. The only way that we can control this circle is through people. And by changing the circle and teaching the people a perverted circle, which is exactly what has occurred. And it occurred, the flood occurred because of that. So they could change the zodiac from the beginning. So they rewrote the past to create a new future. But we're going to get a new Jerusalem, which is a new zodiac. And there'll be no temple therein. The third eye does not have a temple. There is no third temple. The third temple is already inside your head. It's in your mind to go within. Know thyself. People are asking me questions about how do I meditate? How do I do this? Your life is actually already laid out. It's in your chart. For those who are drawn to this, my advice to you is, it's going to sound strange, but the best way to meditate is to be in water. It's the universal solvent. We are in the process, in the middle of an alchemical process of humanity itself is in the middle of this alchemical process. This process of alchemy has one purpose: to extract the essence or quintessence of a thing. It's birthing souls. It's birthing souls. So you die when you come into the body, and you are born when you come out of the body. Everything here is backwards. We're in upside down, backwards world. Our thinking is backwards. Everything about us is backwards. All that's fixing to change as we move into Aquarius. And Aquarius, we are seeing subtleties of the age of Aquarius come in, especially with those being born now. Those being born now, even through the past 100 years, there's a lot of us that have been born that we know we don't belong in this world. There's something wrong here. We don't belong here, and we know it. Paul made a statement. We're in this world age. We're in this world age of Pisces, but we're not of this world age of Pisces. Now, Pisces itself is a great sign. It's feminine. It's merciful. It's groupthink, power in numbers. It's community. It's the gathering. It's water, so it's go with the flow, with that groupthink. Get along, go along to get along. But at the same time, it's illusion and deception. It's ruled by Jupiter, which is desire. It's ruled by desire. This whole age, all of us are ruled by desire. You can look at your Jupiter and know Jupiter rules your belief system. One, what you believe, and two, your desires. So wherever Jupiter is in your chart, whatever sign it's in, that's your desire. It's also what you believe. But you have to remember, you have to do the 3 pillars. You have to do, let me get my marker up. You have to do the 3 pillars. Again, sun, moon, ladder, our path. You have to see where Jupiter's at on these three pillars. Is he being in severity to you? Is he in fire? Is he in water? Or is your Jupiter between heaven and earth? Earth is at the bottom. Earth is that checkerboard floor. That's what Earth is. It's black and white checkerboard floor. It represents the now. The checkerboard floor in this age is actually representing Pisces and Virgo, white and black. They want you to believe, they even want Freemasons to believe that it's Taurus and Scorpio, but it's not. It's not. They're being deceived. Even the Freemasons. We're in such upside down world that Freemason, properly translated, should be slave mason. Anything but free. They're compromised before they ever come through the door. They won't let them through the door. You cannot be initiated without being compromised first. So, no, they are not Taurus, Scorpio. They are Pisces, Virgo, but they're being told they wield this power. The lie, they lie to each other. It is so thick, it's so incredible, but they manipulate their own, not just us. They lie to each other. And the higher you get up on their ladder, not mine, but their ladder, the more you do figure out, but the more compromised you are as well. To climb their ladder, you must become more and more compromised. That means breaking more and more of the laws of nature, not the laws of man. You start on the low levels by breaking the laws of man. That way, they've got a chokehold around your neck and you'll do what they say. But when they start breaking the laws of nature, then they're burdening their own soul. They very likely, many will not, their souls will not survive this age if they've been pulled into these lodges. And because, one, they are not the true lodge. Now, every age has a lodge, but these people are playing like they're the lodge of the fixed cross. Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio. The eagle, the bull, the man, the lion. These are the prominent symbols of this age. And it's not. They're lying. They're the symbols of Jupiter and Mercury, Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, Gemini. Thank goodness in the next 2 ages, Jupiter, desire, and Mercury, freaking money and commerce, have no place. They can't be found there. You'll never find them in Aquarius, Capricorn, Cancer, Leo, Taurus, Aries, or Scorpio, Libra. They are not on the fixed or the cardinal cross. Let's do that again. A lot of new subs and I keep getting asked. So let me repeat this. The 3 crosses. Mutable. Fixed. Cardinal. What is the Chi-Rho? The Chi-Rho is the symbol of the Vatican. It's the mutable cross with the masculine axis of this one. So you only get half of that. The feminine half is taken away. You're given the right masculine half. And they hate the woman. They hate this age. They want to rule the next age because that's the cardinal fire there. That's cardinal fire, which is war, right? That's war. This is water. This is Pisces, Virgo, Aries, with Libra at the bottom. Now that is flipped. So now it looks like this. It's upside down. Peter's being crucified upside down. The proper cross for Aquarius, of course, is this. But because Aquarius and a Capricorn are one, we can look at it like this. I did that backwards. Like that. Put the arrow there. You can even do it that way. Adding that extra symbol. You have the fixed cross, and then you want to add Capricorn. Or you want to add the Capricorn Cancer axis, that feminine axis of the cardinal cross. You see what just happened? And what it looks like is this cross flipped 90 degrees. But it's not. That ain't even right. That's degree, not percent. So, I've done all the videos. You people just simply need to do your homework. Go back through the last 2 years of my videos. Start there. And you will learn the symbols of alchemy. You need to learn the periodic table of elements. You need to know where every one of those elements belong on one of those 3 pillars. You need to know all of this. I'm getting asked a lot about charts right now. No charts right now. None. I've got too much going on. I've got a drive down that's still got charts on it. I can't find my adapter to hook it up to my tower. I've ordered one, and it simply has not arrived yet. And until I get the previous charts out of my way, no. Too many people have waited too long for their charts for me to add any more to this list. Once I get Patreon up and running and these other charts out of the way, then we'll talk charts. But right now, and I think I'm being held back on purpose, that way you people are forced to learn to do this for yourself. Because if I'm doing it for you all day long, you're not going to learn near as much as if you do it for yourself. I'm giving you all the tools you need to do it with. I'm giving you the correct translations and transliterations. I'm giving you the correct colors and the correct symbology through all of it, through all 3 pillars, through all 3 crosses, through all 3 paths, through all 3 sticks. And I've got a lot planned. There's a lot coming this year, and I am really moving as hard and as fast as I can to get this done, because I'm going to do a retreat this year, and it's only going to be about 20 to 25 people, but I'm going to rent they have resort cabins up here in these mountains that are at 3 sticks, and we're going to do a week-long retreat study group, and it won't be for profit. It's going to be sheerly just cost. And with about 20 people, it's not going to be that much per person. But we're going to do that this year, and then a lot of videos are going to come out of that. But I'm going to give those of you who are ready and want this a week one-on-one. Hopefully before the winter solstice. I'm just doing everything I can to get all the logistics laid out. But first things must come first. And right now, I'm still not really even unpacked. Alright, let's get back to what we're talking about here. Because I've got so many new subs, and so many of you have walked onto my last few videos. The last 5 videos I've made, I've gained almost over 500 subs, probably closer to 1,000. And you watch those 2 videos and then you tell me I don't understand any of this. Of course you don't. You're sitting in an advanced class, and when you need to be back in kindergarten with the beginners. We've already done our homework. We've been here for a few years. You guys that are just showing up late to the class, but better late than never, you have a lot of catching up to do. And I can't just snap my fingers and produce a video that's going to connect to everyone's mind. This is not that simple. This is not just given to you. You must earn it. This knowledge falls under the law of equivalent exchange. To get something, you must give something. You must give of your own time. your own patience, your own willingness, desire to learn. Go watch those videos, because I've done you the biggest favor that anybody has ever done humanity. I've done your homework for you, and I'm giving it to you. All you got to do is copy it and turn it in. Write your name on it. You can take this information and do whatever with it you want to. I don't care if you claim it as your own. Don't hurt me none. I'm not losing anything. No sweat off my back. The only thing that has, I'll tell you what I have run into, is one reason my Patreon channel is not open right now is because somebody is taking my videos and putting them on Patreon and are getting paid for it. So when I attempted to open my Patreon channel, I wanted to open my channel with a previous video I had made, and it's already on Patreon, and somebody's getting money for that. So I can't put it on my channel, because even though it's my video, they've copyrighted it on their channel. And really, I don't care, but it has prevented me from putting my own video on my own channel. How about that one? What can I do about it? Nothing. You want to know why? Because I've said over and over again, you take this information and do with it what thou will. Good or evil. I don't care. Not up to me. This is just truth. What you do with it is between you and the destiny of your own soul. So, no, I don't care that they did this. I don't care that they're profiting off of it. I do care that now I can't post my own video on my own channel. That's pretty shitty. But it is what it is, and I'm taking responsibility for that. But when I start posting my videos on Patreon first, before they go on YouTube, then y'all won't be able to do that anymore. These people, and it's more than one, by the way. There's more than one channel doing this with my videos. So, and they're renaming them, but when you go on, it's my voice, it's my information, everything. But they've copyrighted it right out from under me. But if I post on Patreon first and then post on YouTube, they can no longer take my videos off YouTube and put it on their channel. So now for their channels to continue, they're going to have to shit their own material, because they'll no longer be able to use mine on Patreon. You can take it and use it on another YouTube channel, because I've clearly stated many times that this is open source material. And that's my argument with Patreon right now, is they're using the video where I say it's open source to claim they can use it, but then copyright it. And so if it's open source, you can't copyright it. And that's my argument with Patreon. That's what I am up a wall right now, is seeing what their decision is going to be on these other channels that now I can't even post my own videos there. That's my wall. That's why Patreon's not open. So y'all just hang on. All of this is in being litigated. The logistics are being worked out. And one way or the other, I'm fixing to take control back of this information and make it back open source, one way or the other. But it's not fair that people can take what I'm doing. I don't care if you make money off of it, but damn, don't shut me out. It's my material. That's okay. I'm starting to get a little pissed now. I've been arguing with these people for a few weeks. So let me stop, get me something to drink, and we'll go on to the second quarter of this video. All right. I want to talk about 2 videos that I posted recently, and that's Basic Bible Bibble Babble and the Body of Osiris, because both of those I hit it hard, and they're very advanced. To really understand either one of those videos, one, you need a good basic knowledge of the Bible. Being raised in a church, that programming, Bible Bibble Babble is going to break that spell for you, and you're going to see the Bible for what it really is. And it's not a bad book. It is a great book. It's a manual. It's a manual on who we are, why we're here, what we're doing, how we're supposed to live. The Bible tells us about all the gods, all of them. And that's the same thing with the body of Osiris. The body of Osiris in Egypt was cut up into 14 pieces. In the Bible, it's cut up into 66. There are 66 pieces to that book, to that body of work. And you have to know which book is speaking of which god. And sometimes certain books in the Bible are talking about all of them. Some of them talk about just the water gods, or just the fire gods, or just the earth gods. And you have to know who's who, because they've taken it all out. And they give you these words like God and Lord and Master. And you need to learn the real transliterations, because the scribes screwed us. I can't say that enough. All of this opened up to me because I understood the scribes scribbled the scriptures. They gave us Bible, Babel at Babylon, all the way back in the age of Leo. These are fire worshipers. And they hit their peak in Aries with cardinal fire, the Babylonian priesthood, Molech. Let's do it. This, right up the middle. Oh, I can't stand it when Stellarium does that to me. It makes me angry. Let's do it again. This is Pisces, Virgo. But this is Aries. This is Molech. Now here's the thing about Molech that you need to know. Let's break it down alchemically. M-L-K. Got milk? Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King was a Baptist minister. He worships the god of fire. Remember, in the old, we talk about this in Stellarium. Let me get this one down. We talk about this in Stellarium. This is the Old Testament fish. He's got the black and white Masonic words, and he still worships the god of fire over here. This is the New Testament. It has the red and white words, and it's trying to get to our Father who art in heaven, not in fire. You are not Abraham's children. If you were the seed of Abraham, you'd be doing what Abraham did. That's what Christ told the Babylonian priesthood, which at that time called themselves Sadducees and Pharisees, which I call seducers and pharaohs. They were the pharaonic. They were the priest of the Egyptian pantheon, or fire pantheon, by the way. But they have always sacrificed to this god because he can be very generous to them. He's very powerful. I refer you to, if you want to know about Molech, you need to learn about the goat of Mendez. I done 2 videos. You'll find them way back in my channel. It's been about 4 years ago I done those videos. And I take you to the Egyptian steles. And they clearly tell you it's not a goat. It's a freaking ram. And how powerful he is. It's a ram with a goat's head on. These priesthood, this Babylonian priesthood, they just keep changing their clothes, and they change their name, and they jump right into the next age's religion, pervert it. They carry that little, they carry this little symbol right here around with them. And you'll see it all in Egyptian hieroglyphics. That's the masculine side. That's the feminine side. That is Aries. That is Libra. Now they flipped it. So now, because the Chi-Rho is now upside down, Peter is dying upside down. And they're killing him on purpose. You know they do this on purpose. They're destroying this age on purpose. That they're jumping the gun so on the next age so they can take it over before it even begins. It's never going to happen. This is the one time they will never, ever win. And I know why. Because we've all been lied to. We've had our third eye blind from the age of Sagittarius. For 10 ages, our third eye has been blind, and we've only had 2 eyes. We've only had 2 temples, a sun temple and a moon temple. And they're trying to shove the 2 temples together. That was the 9/11 ritual. They took the moon tower and the solar tower and the lunar tower, and they shoved them into one, like an eclipse. And they called it the One World Trade Center. All of this is under Mercury, by the way. Mercury is so desperate to be a god. So desperate to be... Actually, it's the mind and hearts of men that are desperate for this. Mercury is just playing the Loki character and giving them exactly what they ask for. It's not that Mercury's bad. It's Mercury is just giving them exactly what they ask for. And they know not what they ask for. But they're asking for their own destruction and don't even know it. But the next stage is so clearly ruled by Saturn. We're all going to be ruled by our higher self. I've done all these videos. And that day, in the twinkling of an eye, this mortality will put on immortality. When you open your third eye, your whole body fills with light. You walk in the land of milk and honey, and you have your light body. And it's like they call it being baptized with the Holy Spirit. Then you don't run everything by your heart. You don't run everything by your gut instinct. You run everything by your intuition up in the head. Your gut instinct is solar powered. Our hearts can deceive us. Right? Libra can deceive us too. Our hearts deceive us. They use our love against us. They use our love of one another to compromise us. When you go into these lodges, they tell you, if you F up, we're not going to do anything to you. You're going to remain exactly where you're at. But we're coming after that you love the most. And that's how they control you. That's why it's not Freemasonry. It's enslavement masonry. And you're enslaved, you're compromised before you ever get in the door. You can never rise up the ranks in this society without being compromised. So all of those that are at the top are wicked as hell, and you don't need evidence other than the system itself operates that way. Now this system is dying, and it's being intentionally destroyed. They're destroying our culture. They're destroying our films. They're destroying our storyline. Everything is being destroyed. So they can be, and this whole age has been repeat and repeat. They don't have any new ideas. We've been told the same stories over and over again. A remake of this movie, a remake of that movie, because that's all they have. Well, the story is changing. And when that twinkling of an eye happens, when Aquarius, when the sun finally fully moves into Aquarius, the frequency of the sun changes. Hey, let's do this one. Y'all want to know about this guy? What is this all about? Well, do y'all know who that is? Do you know who George is? That's Jorge. That's Horus. Which is the sun. Horus is the sun. This comes from, is Gaelic the right word? Maybe Welsh? Not literally Gaelic. It comes from, let's see if I can do this. Load. Load. It means gray or gray-haired. So we have a gray-haired sun. It's the death of the old sun. It's a death of the old sun ritual. A death of the old black sun ritual, my friends. Do you see it? Do you see how the media, which Mercury rules the media in this age, and they've all been compromised at the top, so even if they know the truth, they cannot tell you. Everything's encoded. You know, a lot of you watch Q. I'm familiar with Q. Y'all need to understand the battle is between the solar pillar and the lunar pillar. You need to be the observer and the audience. You need to be the independent, not the Republican or the Democrat. You need to get off those two pillars. They're destroying each other. The solar pillar and the lunar pillar will fall for the third pillar to rise. Those two temples must be destroyed for the third eye to open. In that day, in the twinkling of an eye, single, if thine eye be single, thy body will be full of light. This mortality puts on immortality, and it's going to happen to everybody. And it's going to happen at George Floyd, which is the death of the old sun. The death of the gray-haired black sun. And as they kill it, and their script and their timeline, and which, remember, they're running on a timeline. Let me do this for you. 3 pillars. This is solar astrology. This is lunar astrology. This is Saturnalian astrology. There you go. And for 5 ages from Sagittarius to Leo, we did this. For 5 ages from Cancer to Pisces, we did this. The book is the Picatrix for this one. But now we're moving to this. This is Old Testament, New Testament. Picatrix. So, these 2 pillars, they took down was the 9/11 ritual. And they made them into one to try to attempt making a third eye. It didn't work. It didn't work. I love the way Mercury works. I'm actually laughing at them. Laughing at them. They know not what they do. This is an inner temple, not an outer temple. It's the temple built without hands. You build it with your mind's eye. Your imagination plays a huge role. Neptune. Neptune currently conjunct Mars in Aquarius coming up. Let's pull up Neptune. We got a Neptune-Mars conjunction coming up. Let's pull Mars on in. Find out when this is going to be. Up. Right there on the 13th. It's my sister's birthday. You're going to have a Mars-Neptune conjunction. So your emotions are going to be tied to your imagination. And Neptune, well, let's pull the moon back in there. Let's just go ahead and bring this baby back and get all 3 of them. Literally right at midnight on the 13th, coming into the 13th, you're going to have a moon, Mars, Neptune conjunction. And again, Neptune is the imagination. Without the imagination, there's no manifestation. And all of this is going down in Aquarius with I think Neptune is coming out of its retrograde here. Is Neptune still retrograde? 39092. Yeah, he's come out of his retrograde, so he is moving forward. Excuse me, all three moving forward at this point. So you're going to be manifesting from 1, water magic, 2, the imagination, and 3, the emotions. You need to understand on the fixed cross, everything is stable. So you need to make sure you're in that emotionally stable state. Now here's the problem. Let me get this right again. Let's do the 3 pillars back. Lunar, solar, Saturn. Again, they want to take these two to try to imitate that one by a bunch of frickin' lies. It'll never work. And that's okay. But as we move, all we've been taught are these 2 pillars. For 10 ages, that's all humanity has been taught. This has been hidden from us. They keep it for themselves, and they even pervert it. But this will be cleansed, and that's in your mind. This temple is in your mind. This temple is Jerusalem. It's been destroyed. They want to rebuild it. This temple is Rome. This temple, its earthly marker, is Lima, Peru. I've done it. Don't ask me to go into another video to explain it. I've done your homework. Just go copy it. Just go watch those videos. Copy it into your own mind, into your own memory bank. But I swear, with so many new subs, and I have so many questions coming at me that are deep questions, I'd really love to sit down and answer you all. But right now, I'm on a different battlefield, trying to protect this work and get it out there on another channel. I'm still trying to unpack, still trying to get everything done. So as much as I would love to sit down with each one of you and go through your comments and explain it to you, you're adults. If you're here on this channel, you're grown, you're educated, you can read, and you have internet. So you have, if you're still under lockdown, you have nothing but time to go back and just copy the work. It's been done for you. If you don't understand it once, just file it away and watch a few more videos, and they'll explain themselves. Just like the Bible does. The Bible interprets itself. Most of the interpretation I get for the Bible comes from the Bible. It's like when you find the word water in the Bible, it's talking about people, and it literally tells you that. These waters are peoples and tongues and nations. Book of Revelations. It tells you what the water is, and that translates right back to the zodiac. So the 3 water signs are people. What people? The people in Cancer, your home, the people you're related to. The water in Scorpio, those are your friends because it's a sign of friendship and loyalty. And the water in Pisces is groupthink. So these are the people you work with and go to school with and are in like mind with, and the lodge you're in, and the guild you're in, and the fraternity you're in. The Bible interprets itself metaphorically, alchemically, symbolically. So they're trying to imitate this. That's all they can do is imitation. And they're going to build this guy wants to build another temple in Jerusalem. Wow. And that's why the whole world is fighting. You got fire worshippers and water worshippers. And here's the kicker, is when you talk about water belongs to Europe, and fire belongs to to Asia. But before the flood, it was flipped. Before the flood, Jupiter ruled fire, and Mars ruled water. But now, after the flood, Mars rules fire, and Jupiter rules water. Fire, water, water, fire. The battle of fire and ice has always been between, watch this, Jupiter, desire. I don't know why I've got the lag. Well, just forget this. Between desire and emotion. And Europe used to be fire, and Asia was water. Now, Europe is water, and Asia's fire. But they've blended. Here we call them Eurasians. Here we call them Caucasians. They're not white and they're not yellow. They're mixed. The word Arab, A-R-A-B, from the Hebrew E-R-E-B, Arab, means mixed. So a Caucasian is a mixed person. A Caucasian is not a white person. It is a mixed person. It's the same word. Like Eurasian. Like, I'm mixed. I'm half French and Native American. So almost everybody in the United States is Arab. We've all been mixed. We're hybrids. We have many lineages in us. But our souls, we're told in the Bible that your souls, your star seed, it doesn't come from your mother or your father. It comes from what star sign you're born under. What lunar, what solar, and what Saturn. So, you have another problem. I have to get this back up with what's going on and why what they're doing. Because we've all been double-crossed, right? They've put us on a solar cross and on a lunar cross. So we've all been double-crossed. And this solar cross has a problem. It's 23.5 degrees off center. That means every constellation has 30 degrees. And you take that 23.5 and that leaves minus 23.5. Leaves you 6.5. So 23.5 people out of every 30 people have been double-crossed. Because you don't know what cross you're on under solar astrology. They screwed you. If you're in Western astrology, 23.5 of you out of 30 of you, actually now it's more like 24. Because we did change a degree in a tsunami in 2012. But have been double-crossed. A lot of you, the charts that I do for you, you think you're one sign and I show you you're another. And the other sign I show you fits much better to who you are. Every one of you, every one of you have agreed with me. But this stuff, it's 99.44 accurate what I'm doing. And that's scary to me. This circle is so perfect in what it does and its purpose. It's not evil. You read statements, well, God told us astrology's bad. Which God? This God right here in Aries, he said, this is a commandment. Thou shalt have no images of anything in heaven or earth. Why is that? What about fire and water? Can we have those images? Absolutely. It's not what he said, it's what he didn't say. So, he's a God of fire and ice. Of course you can't have images of heaven and earth. Of course you can't do astrology. Astrology is ruled by Aquarius. That's an air sign. That's heaven. No, you can't have that. So no, the God of the Old Testament is not my God. The God of the burning bush is not my God. Sorry, people. that god of fire. Here's his names: Ahura Mazda from the Persian, Molech from the Babylonian, Vulcan from the Latin, and that ever elusive Ea, Asher, Ea, I am, what or that I am, fire, Aries, all the same god. Three aspects: the sun, Mars, and Jupiter. Desire, emotion, and power. And that they emotionally desire power. They're fire worshippers. And that's who's ruling this whole age of the mutable cross. They hijacked it, just like they hijack everything. And poor Peter dying upside down. And I could care less about Peter dying. It's those that are following Peter that's the problem. Because they're the people in the pews, and they're the driving force. It's their Neptunes, their imaginations, their desires, their will that empowers that symbol. Let's go back to Stellarium. Let's get off that. Let's throw up. I have to move this for a minute. Nope, it's not what I want. I want these. These. And the Egyptian, this is the flock. Well, now the flock is right here in the head of the beast. That's the people in the churches. That's the people sitting in all these solar temple churches. Or lunar temple churches, actually. The Vatican rules water. Europe rules water. A lot of people have come to me, well, so-and-so said Africa rules water. Bullshit. Show me where he gets his information, because I can prove that Europe has always ruled water. Europe and Asia, they play back and forth. In one age they're fire, and the other age they're water. They mixed. It's the battle of fire and ice. It's the Game of Thrones. They all want to play king, but guess what? None of them are king. Who's the king? Who's the true king? Who's the true lodge? The three-eyed raven. Boy, y'all hated that ending. I hate it for you, because it was the correct ending. Finally, they gave us the true ending to the story, and not the bullshit Disney happily ever after ending. I feel like I should end that there. Now, let's come out of Stellarium. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about something that happened to me, that is happening to me. I'll just leave that there. I like looking at him. He makes me feel comfortable. Let's look at him today, in the now. All right. When I moved into this house, y'all are going to love this one. When I moved into this house, it was coming into springtime. It's cool. It's comfortable. It's a very old home, so it doesn't have air conditioners, right? No central heat. We have gas heat, but no central air or anything like that. And it had none in it. So we got one air conditioner, and we put it in the middle of the house in the dining room. And it's getting pretty hot. So I just drove as far as I can drive, and there are no air conditioners to buy. The lockdown was occurring. There was nothing to get. So a few months ago, I went online and I ordered a couple of air conditioners. And I didn't realize it until I had already paid for it with my card that they were going to ship from China. And the shipping was going to take a couple of months. So we got us some fans, and we're just going to bear through it, right? Great price, can't beat the price, but the shipping's just going to take a while. They got to come through customs, and everything is a little slow now because of the new tariffs on China. So waiting. Finally, the tracking shows it's in the United States. They shipped it to Ohio instead of Oklahoma, so it had to come back to Oklahoma. Finally, my tracking, my shipping is here. It's the day. We're jumping for joy. We're so tired of sweating. So the postman comes up and hands me this little bitty package that's not much bigger than my hand. And I'm like, well, no, the tracking says I'm getting two air conditioners. Two air conditioners. And Nope, there's no air conditioners there, so we checked the tracking again. It is definitely, the tracking for the air conditioners is on this little bitty gray package, about the size of my hand. On the label on the package, after where it came through customs, it said it was a shirt. So I paid all this money, 2 air conditioners plus shipping, and the package tells me I have a shirt inside. So I'm pretty much livid until I open the package, and then I completely lose my mind, because inside the package are COVID masks from China, from the very place the virus started. That's where it was shipped from. So they're sealed inside another package. I don't open them. I've had to send them to be tested. I am in negotiations with the company who did this. Apparently somebody in shipping thought it would be really funny to take my 2 air conditioners home and send me some COVID masks instead. And so it's crazy what's going on here. I'm not kidding you. So, but no, I didn't break the seal on them, and they are going to be tested. I've already spoken with law enforcement and everything about it. So, crazy going on, and I still haven't heard back from the company. They're investigating. That's what they said. They're investigating. So, find out what goes on there. They asked me, did I want a refund or do I want them to reship? That was the only thing I got. And I told them that I've spoken to an attorney and law enforcement, and I've been advised to go ahead and tell you to reship to see what you send me this time. And then I haven't heard anything back, and no acknowledgement of anything shipping or refund or nothing. So I'm still in the waiting process on that while we continue to sit here and sweat as we move into June, which again limits the time I can make a video. It's hot, so we've got all these fans running, and I can only sit here so long and sweat before I've just got to shut it down and go cool off, people, which is what I'm fixing to do right now. This is why I'm telling you this story, is because it's starting to get hot here, and it's time for me to go cool off in front of the air conditioner. And I'll be back when I can. Y'all do your homework. Actually, you don't even have to. I've done it for you. Just go copy the work. Just go learn it. And you'll never regret it. This is the one thing in my life that I am so glad I have no regrets about. None. Is taking the time that I've taken to learn this material. And I'm so desperate to share it with you all. To just give it away. This should be free for everybody. This should not be hidden knowledge. That Bible is a manual. It tells us who we are, everybody. I don't care what sign you are. And nobody's a bad sign, because we've all been born into this wicked world. There are 3 crosses at Golgotha and 3 crosses in the heavens, and we've all been crucified and born upon one of those crosses. But we all have the promise, that secret that has been kept since the foundation of the world. And you would not find yourself on my channel if you weren't among those being gathered. Everybody's being gathered into the groups that they resonate with. Right now, it's the gathering. Armageddon is the gathering. You're in the valley of decision. And the unveiling is occurring. Those that are in the valley of the decision that choose the left pillar or the right pillar, they're still in the battle. To rise above it, get on that middle pillar. Find your path. Get the truth. Be who you were born to be, not who people tell you to be. Your natal chart tells you everything. Your position of your Saturn in your natal chart is your lesson. That middle pillar. Saturnalian astrology. Saturn in his first Saturn return tells you your purpose. Jesus began his ministry at 30. That's his purpose. That's his first Saturn return, just like you. On your first Saturn return, wherever Neptune is your purpose. Not just for you, but your whole generation. It's a group thing. It's a kingdom thing. And then your second Saturn return tells you whether you passed or failed. Because there is no in between. There is no A, B, C, D, E, F grades. You either pass or you don't. You either open your third eye or you don't. You either, this is the age of believe. We have to believe. But Aquarius is about knowing. You don't have to believe anymore. You can know the truth. And the truth sets you free. Especially if it's a truth with a root. And it begins. Alright, people. Go bank the good karma. You know what to do. Hang on. I will notify y'all when I get Patreon up and going. But I want to make sure this is settled before I do that. I want to make sure that none of my material it should remain open source for everybody. You have the right to do this, whatever you want, but you do not have the right to claim it as your own to copyright. It must remain open source. I don't care if you take my information and redo it in your own video and play like you did it. That's fine. I don't care. But I do care that you try to stop it and make it not open source. I love you all. You know what to do. Go bank that good karma. Because the time's coming. We all gonna need it.